What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Rndr's price has been pulling back for the last few days after that beautiful run that it went on, and so I want to give you guys an update on what I'm doing, what I'm looking at and expecting, and much more. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now guys, also please don't forget, if you do want to trade some Rndr, you can use my Margex link down in the description below. You don't need to KYC, meaning you don't need to give them any of your personal information. You can just deposit funds and start trading without even needing a VPN, and on top of that, you're going to get a 20% bonus on any deposit you make. So you deposit $1,000, you're getting $200 back to go towards trading fees, meaning that you can just trade for free, immediately increasing your upside on trades and immediately being able to get to profit much faster. And so because of that, go take advantage of that with the link down in the description below. That is a deal that you absolutely should not pass up on. But with that in mind, as I mentioned before, let's get into Rndr. Let's see what's happening. So what we can see here is that Rndr's price, as I mentioned in the last video, went on a beautiful run and a beautiful retracement. We of course had the high back up here around $13.90, came all the way down towards the $6.27 level. Then from there, of course, we saw boom, one establishment of resistance, boom, two establishments of resistance, came back up to this previous point of resistance. Off of that, what many people would call a cup and handle pattern, use this cup and handle pattern to make a beautiful breakout to the upside, retesting the top side of the 618 to 786 box, and now getting a little bit of rejection into the back test off of it. So overall, an incredibly healthy move, an incredibly strong move. I really like what I'm seeing from this. Okay, now the question then becomes, well, what should we do now, right? What is Rndr doing? Because when you just look at this, you would say, well, it's just, just kind of going sideways a little bit, but there's actually a little bit more to it. Okay, there's actually a little bit more to it. So generally speaking, when a crypto does this, okay, generally speaking, when a crypto does this, this is bullish, and this is opening up the door and setting up a future move to the upside. That's just normally what happens here, okay? Now, what you can kind of do to prepare for that or to kind of get ready for that is by paying very close attention to what happens with what you call this back test. This is called a back test, okay? Let me explain to you what a back test is real quick. So in this situation, Rndr's price came all the way down here and established 2 points of resistance, one right here, one right here. Then off of that, it came back down, found support, and used this support to come back up to retest this previous point of resistance. In an instance in which this happens, okay, you then establish your resistance level, your resistance zone, your resistance range, whatever you want to call it. It's this little range right here. Okay, this little range right here. And you know what I'll do? I'll actually go in and make that a little bit darker so you can really see it. There we go. Okay, that's your range. Now, in this instance, that range actually created a cup and handle pattern. Okay, you had the cup, you had the handle, and you had the breakout. Now, in an instance like this structure like this will usually open up the door for a beautiful move to the upside. Generally, the way in which you can decide how deep or how far that move to the upside is going to go is by taking the depth of this resistance range down to the support level and putting it on top of your resistance range. Now we can kind of shortcut it a little bit if we want to, and we can just throw it on there. And what you can see is that it gives you a breakout target that leads directly back up to where your previous all-time high is at. Well, not all-time high, but your high for this run. Now that is not coincidental. It's just not coincidence. It's just how this thing ends up happening. It's just how it works. I can't explain it. If you watch my other videos today, you know that happens all the time. So what it says is that this move that we made with this breakout has given us an open door back up to our previous high and hopefully above our previous high. But of course, getting up there once you break out isn't usually just a straight shot, right? You're going to run into resistance and you're going to need to do what's called back testing, which is when you find some support and use that support to build back up bullish momentum to continue upwards. I call it like a gas station, basically, right? You're going up, 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 up. Now I got to get some gas. You slow down, you get some gas, You got your gas, now you continue upwards, right? And it doesn't usually look like this. It sometimes looks like this and then like that and then like this and like that and like that. Boom, 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 right? But you get the point, you get the principle. The principle is that in moments like this, what we're doing is we're back testing, we're getting gas to inevitably, eventually continue that move to the upside. Now, that move to the upside though, right? The move back to, $14, $15, $16, $17 and above is not 100% at any given point. But at one point, it will become much more confirmed, and that's once we're capable of clearing this level right here. It's called the 786 level on your Fibonacci retracements. Now, the 786 level in this example is $11.72. Once Rndr's price is capable of breaking this level, the door to not only just up to $14, but likely even up to $17.25 is wide open. Okay, it's wide open. And that's the reason why Rndr's price bounced off of this level. It wasn't ready. It wasn't ready to guarantee that move. It wasn't ready. The bulls aren't ready. They weren't strong enough to break this level because it's a hard level to break. And so all Rndr's doing right now is it broke to the upside, cleared through this cup and handle pattern, and opened up the door up here. But what happened is that as it broke out, it needed to come back down. It needed to retrace, find some support, let the bulls cool down, let the bears do what they're going to do, find some support, try to establish support on this zone, and look for a continuation to the upside. This is the most optimal situation that can happen right here. And so at this given point, that's why I'm telling you, we need to be watching what happens right here. We need to be watching what happens at what you call a back test, in which you have this previous point of resistance that you're now trying to flip into a point of support. Because if you can flip resistance into support, which is called an RS flip, you can really see movement and momentum to the upside, okay? And so now, the whole point of what I just said was to say that what we need to do at this point is watch very closely to see if we can use the support to get that move back up here. Because I think eventually Rndr's price will break this level. I think eventually it will break $11.70. The question then becomes, when does that happen? And this level will determine if that is soon or not soon. It'll be soon if we see Rndr's price hold support here, and bounce back up to retest back up to the upside. That'll be a successful establishment of an RS flip, which generally will lead to an eventual breakout to the upside. It might look like this, right? It might look like that, but eventually it'll lead to the breakout to the upside. If support is lost here, though, we're going into more of an extended pullback, in which we're very likely going to see Rndr's price do something like this, in which it comes back down, maybe even comes back down to this previous point of support, maybe all the way down here. Boom, find support, come up, hit resistance, come back up, retest, boom, maybe pull back one more time, and then it makes the move, right? If we lose support here, it could delay this move above 1170 for not only just weeks, but months, okay? Months. If it holds support, we could see a breakout within a few days. If we lose support, it might go sideways or downwards for months. And that's why I keep trying to, make it clear that this is so important to watch out for. And so what I'm doing at this given point is I did buy a little bit of Rndr right here, just kind of for the shits and giggles, just in case it does hold support, and I can get a quick little profiting trade. It was a tiny trade, a tiny buy that I did that's unimportant for the most part, okay? So I'm not too concerned about it. But for the most part, I'm not doing anything. I'm quite simply just sitting back and watching to see if Rndr can hold this support here and use it to bounce upwards. If so, as I mentioned before, the door is open to $17, and we could get this break to the upside over the course of this week or next week, very soon. But as I mentioned before, if we lose support here, that could delay this entire move to the upside until possibly June or July. And so obviously, that's why it's such an important moment. We're on the fence so much right now that I'm literally just sitting back and every couple hours just looking at Rndr and seeing what its price is doing without doing much else. And so I know this was a little bit of a long-winded video because I was doing a lot of explaining from a more structural perspective, but it's important for you to understand why certain areas or certain thresholds are so important. And I hope now you can get an idea of how these structures work and how, of course, they can dictate where or when certain cryptos move in certain directions. And so I will continue to update you on Rndr as its price does play out. You guys know we were buying this thing around $7-8 recently, and so because of that, we are looking pretty up right now, and I know a lot of you are happy about it. So if you have been enjoying the content, if you have been finding it valuable, please do let me know by subscribing to the channel and liking this video so more people see it. Don't forget, if you do want to get to trading on Rndr yourself, you can be doing it over on MargeX, and you're going to get 20% back on your deposits without having to KYC, which is giving them your personal information. So absolutely fantastic deal, something you shouldn't pass up on. And of course, I can't wait to see you all next time in the next video. See you next time, everybody. Peace out.